Greetings and good vibes, y'all. Welcome back to the Leon Block. I'm your guy, John Tell, here with a webisode with a guest. And I guess we're going to start off talking about Randy Cox. Welcome to the show, Meg Keller. You were on the last webisode. We talked a little bit about the in-cash bail program that you have in Lancaster City in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We can talk a little more about that, but first, tell us a little more about Randy Cox real quick.
Yes, thank you for having me back, Chantel. So Randy Cox happened around, I'm assuming, the same time as Jalen. So, which is kind of crazy because it seems like all of these massive, traumatic events happen around the same time. But so he lives in Connecticut. He was at a house party from what I've, looked into the case so far. There is a rights to know request submitted through there as well. But he was at a house party. He was walking around with some alcohol. The cops seen him. They picked him up because I'm not sure if he had a warrant or not. And then they put him in the back of a paddy wagon. The paddy wagon did not have a seatbelt. When the driver was leaving wherever they picked him up at, in the process of getting to the jail, it was almost hit and the driver had to slam on the brakes. Whenever he slammed on the brakes, Randy Cox's head went slamming into the concrete, paddy wagon, door. And once it did, he paralyzed. He's paralyzed from the chest down, according to the family. The attorneys for the family of Randy Cox, they're going to meet with the Connecticut U.S. attorney and demand civil rights investigation, which is good. They don't only need to ask the attorney general, but they also need to go online to the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. Go on there. You can make a complaint electronically. So they need to ask, how you just posted about how to make complaints and the protocol and procedures that go into that. Not only do you do a state attorney general, you also do the oh no, I just lost my train of thought. There was another one on the state level. And then you also do, the Department of Justice and do their criminal or their civil rights division complaint there. Yeah, there's definitely options. We just have to know how to go about them. And that's what they make so hard is that, a lot of people just don't know. I was one of them. I didn't know. I wasn't raised around parents that was politically involved or knew. I'm from Missouri. My dad was a farmer. So yeah, the more the more you can figure out how, and really what's being aware of what's really going on in the world.
Are there any GoFundMe's or any Cash App or Venmo information that is up for Randy Cox that you know of?
Let me look here. I believe at one time there was. I seen it in the beginning. I didn't save it. There. Let me see. There is one here. Is that him? Okay, so yes, he was arrested at an annual block party. His neck was broken. He was not given immediate medical treatment, which is what's so bizarre in this situation. The police don't. They have to release the body cam footage, and when they do, they end up looking more like an asshole than anything. I've had body camera footage released to me on a family member that passed away, and I watched the police, these people that we call to serve and protect us, watch my cousin for 6 minutes as he breathed shallow breaths. They let him, they didn't do anything. They offered no life-saving measures at all. But if it was a cop, they would have put that, if somebody has a gunshot wound, they're going to put that stuff in it that stops, it cauterizes it. No, it was 5 officers just sat there and watched him. So yeah, and so with this body cam footage, they released it. How they got him out of the van. It was like he was an animal. And then they got him out of the van. They actually took him through processing, dragged him like a animal. It's ridiculous. Go on YouTube, search Randy Cox, New Haven, Connecticut.
If you
Had
go
a,
to my, if I'm sorry, if you go to my Facebook page right now, I just shared some footage from the march that just took place yesterday, in New Haven for Randy Cox. But you said there's some stuff on YouTube.
yes, if you go on YouTube, you can actually see the full body cam footage. A lot of police departments, if I'm like one of those nerdy people, I go on YouTube and I'm like, police shootings 2022, just to like watch the craziness happen, because I enjoy like, I feel like everybody should be accountable in life. We as individuals, as citizens, as constituents, even as a county, like we have to be accountable. So why shouldn't public officials or people that we put in political seats?
Yep.
So it just makes sense to me. Like, and then I like, it's insane. Like what can you, all we can do is pay attention. And anything that doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, makes your gut like hurt a little bit. It's not right. Trust it.
I know that's right.
100%. We have to like pray for this family. Like this kid is young. Like that is, could you, I couldn't imagine. Like it was like a summer party and he was walking around with alcohol. Okay, how many of us have really done that in real life? I know, like I have. Like it shouldn't be a life sentence. He's not ever going to be able to walk again. That's horrible. So there definitely needs to be an investigation into these officers, into their, not only their moral, like how they stand as a person, an individual, but like, what were they thinking? Like, this is a medical emergency. I don't think a grown man is going to like say, I cannot move. It doesn't happen like that. It's human decency. It's compassion. It's the things that people lack the most. It's people's basic human needs. Again, over and over again. We see it. We say it. People's basic human needs are being lacked, which is why they are criminalized in the first place. Bottom line. That shit makes me so mad though, because it just keeps happening and happening. It doesn't stop. Like, and it doesn't, like with Jalen Walker especially, it doesn't get better. Like, that's horrible. They shot this man. Like, his body had like 40. Like, I look at autopsy reports. This man's body had 40 gunshot wounds. Could you imagine? Like, that is insane. He might as well, like, I couldn't imagine the soot and like everything, like powder. Like, his body would have been destroyed, mutated. And I mean, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit here and like turn our heads and, see how good that really, helped or worked previously? Or are we going to put our, boots on and get to Akron just like you did this week?
For real.
That's a difference. It's selfless acts that don't have anything, like there's nothing we can get in return, like except for the impact that like helps other people to get them the resources that they need.
Keep going. You talking it. You talking it.
Yes,
I mean, let's pivot to ending cash bail real quick, because that's what you're all about right now, is ending cash bail in Lancaster City or Lancaster County specifically.
It would be, I believe, Lancaster County. I'm not 100% sure, but as everything I read, like it says Lancaster County. And it's insane that these judges would think like, and to be honest, one of these judges that are getting sued is like my favorite judge. Like, he took my favorite judge's spot. And like, I like the guy. He's a great individual. But what would, in your right mind, would you not like look into people's backgrounds? People are more than a number. They're more than an inmate number. Like, they're actually, and what's so crazy is like, I'm so thankful for organizations that I've teamed up with that are able to give me the resources even that I need to help people. Because I had somebody call me the other day that this woman was pregnant and she had eclampsia or pre-eclampsia, which I had eclampsia when I had my son. And her blood pressure was really high. She was incarcerated at LCP. And they were worried about her, the family. And so I called, like I got Cheryl's, the warden's phone number, her cell phone number. And I called her and I told her this person's name. And like the description that I was given was completely different than what I was told, like from my people. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, like keep digging. They had the wrong person. Like
Of
it's
course.
standard protocol. They had the complete wrong person. The person I was talking about versus the person Shira was talking about was two totally different people. But they want to make it bigger. They want to criminalize more people. Like they can't
Yep.
keep track of the people they got.
Yep.
But the judges was Nance or here, I'm gonna have to pull up the ACLU lawsuit. But I know that like one of them was Judge Lefevre. I like him. Like that was I was like really upset about his. I was like, man, this sucks. Like, but I mean, again, we have to be accountable. Look at employment status. What your family setup is made like how it's set up. Are you the breadwinner? Are you the one that provides the childcare to your family? Like you're not only directly impacting yourself, but you're directly impacting these children. You're directly impacting like your significant others, your parents. Like, it whenever you can't get a job, you can't get the best defense to try to get out of a charge because you're behind bars. How much can you do behind bars? And you're not going to have the money that you would have otherwise if you wasn't incarcerated. So it needs to become more accessible. And that's like what it's all about is accessibility. Everybody should have I've went into court and actually seen. I had a friend that got pulled over with a weapon, an illegal weapon in the car. We was able to like tell them that they couldn't search the car because by law you are able to say no, and they didn't. They let her go. So they found the firearm afterwards. I was able to go into the magistrate with an attorney, and she was seen with an attorney at the very start of it. She had a $25,000 insecure bail, which means that she didn't have to give any money to walk out a free woman. But then after that, 5 to 6 probably times after, the same charge, same judge, it was over $100,000 cash bail.
Wow.
How does that like? That's not okay. It shouldn't it shouldn't matter who's in the courtroom, but at the same time, like if you can if you got court coming up and you can fill that courtroom, fill the courtroom. Apply pressure. Make like that's the only way to make them accountable up until this lawsuit is like
Right.
finalized. Make them like they have to stand firm to what they say they're going to do. And that's like to do things under the Constitution. It's not that hard. And one of the biggest things, we are innocent until proven guilty. I know some real good attorneys, like, and they're actually public defenders. Like that's one thing that I mean, I think that could change the whole game is having public defenders at the prelims. So the stories that we've heard over the past year are insane. They range from like mental health illnesses, that people that truly didn't know where they were at and had walked like 8 miles, lost their car. Like we've had to sit and find people's cars for them. Like it's really eye opening to like what we're lacking. And it's just basic like healthcare. It's mental illness. I mean, a lot of it leads back to that
Yep.
addiction,
I mean,
like homelessness.
that's not where it leads back to, but those are symptoms of the bigger problem. The
Right,
bigger problem is
exactly.
the system itself.
Right, exactly. And it's not just the bail system. Like, let's remain transparent, like across the board. Parole and probation sucks. Like, now, granted, it does work. It works as it's supposed to work. It keeps people incarcerated. Like, I know parole officers, they will turn their heads if, like, you're smoking weed. But then if they want to take you to jail that day, they want to know, like, where's your weed at? Like, they don't want to help you. So, and when you get one that does, like they're an angel, keep them close and have them teach you things of the gray areas of how to like navigate through. Because if not, people get stuck. Like a lot of people in Lancaster, they got in trouble as they were young and they haven't gotten out of the system ever since.
That's all over, love. That's all
Right.
over.
Yeah. And that's what's great too about Pennsylvania right now, up until Wolf leaves office. Pennsylvania Lawyers for Social Equity, they've teamed up with the whole state and taught pardons for anybody that has drug offenses. So like if you have a weed charge, if you have even a weed like a weed drug dealing charge, you can get a pardon on everything on your record from my understanding. And it's free. So it's just resources and then being available to the right group that like the right target audience that has lacked them previously. But changes are coming, brother, for real. Like I feel it. There was too many people like from such diverse like backgrounds come together today and it was amazing.
That's
So if
awesome. Was it a nice turnout?
it was, yeah, and it was it was supposed to be rainy today, but it didn't rain like at all. So I mean, I was very surprised, and it was so nice, like for
Where
people to
did it
donate.
take place?
So it started at Lancaster County Park Pavilion 2. They ran down by the Conestoga River, right by the new redevelopment of the prison. And then they ran by the kids' place, the juvie, what's it called? Yick. So they ran by there and then they ran around the jail and then they ended at Reservoir Park. And then once they got to Reservoir, it was like a celebration of our 1 year. And so we had performers and speakers and the Brightside Opportunity Center was amazing. They like donated so much time, effort. They provided lunches, a pastor that was amazing. Yeah, like it was great.
That's dope. Definitely dope. Was there anything else you want to talk about as far as cash bail, as far as Lancaster goes, before we wrap shit up?
Not that I can think of. If anything, go to the prison board meetings. They're on I believe it's like the third Thursday, 9:15 in the morning. They make it super early, and so nobody really comes. Like you go there and there's hardly nobody there. It's always the same faces. So pay attention, observe like what's going on. Don't like just because you don't have a college education or just because you don't like see yourself as something, don't believe that it's not possible. Because there's definitely like there's platforms out there that everybody it's one size fits all. Like you can find something that you fit into, you like, you love. Like look at you. I guarantee you never in a million years would you have thought like you were traveling to Akron like that. Like we spoke that up. You called me, you're like, I need a car, and then the next day you're like, oh, I'm on my way to Ohio. I'm like, all right, bro, get it. Like you got to Ohio quicker than I got the right to know request back. That says something.
I appreciate you, love.
I appreciate you too, love. We can end it like we just have to all work together. But we appreciate your support too as the bail fund. I appreciate you with my investigation stuff. Like anytime I can help you, I'm here for you.
Back at you, same.
Thanks, love. Well, you have a good evening.
You as well. I really appreciate you coming on the show as usual and spitting your knowledge. And glad that the event turned out really dope. I again apologize that I couldn't make it, but I was there in spirit. Again, I'm glad that it
Yes.
turned out great. That it didn't rain on y'all, none of that shit.
Yes, for sure. To many more years.
Yeah, for real.
All
So
right,
yeah.
baby. You have a good evening. I wouldn't want to spend my Saturday with anybody else.
Aw. Blessings to you, though. Blessings to
Yes,
you.
you too, baby. You have a good
We're going to get
evening.
out of here. Thank you for joining us. Everyone, make sure you meditate on your path, celebrate your being, liberate your spirit, and educate yourself. I'm John Tell. Have a great one.